Picture this. You're alone on a small boat in the middle of the night. The ocean stretches forever in every direction. Beneath your hull lies a world deeper than the height of Mount Everest stacked on top of itself. Pressures that would instantly implode a nuclear submarine. Temperatures nearly freezing. And darkness so complete that light itself dies within a few hundred meters. This isn't science fiction. This is 71% of our own planet, Earth's ocean. In the year 2026, despite all our satellites, submarines, and supercomputers, we've mapped less than 28% of the seafloor to modern high-resolution standards. The Nippon Foundation GEBCO Seabed 2030 project just announced in June of 2025 that only 27.3% of the global ocean floor has been charted with modern multi-beam sonar, an increase of millions of square kilometers in the last year, but still leaving vast abyssal plains, trenches, and ridges in total mystery. For thousands of years, sailors have returned with tales that defy logic. Entire seas glowing bright enough to read by at midnight. Ships found drifting with crews vanished, as if they never existed. Underwater structures that look like lost pyramids, and sounds reported by hydrophones that crossed entire ocean basins and sounded alive. In this expanded, nearly 90-minute deep dive, we're going far beyond the headlines. We'll dissect every major oceanic enigma with eyewitness transcripts, declassified Navy logs, the very latest 2025 to 2026 scientific papers, and fresh data from NOAA, Enigma Labs, and international research cruises. Some of these mysteries have been quietly solved by ice, bacteria, or geology. Others, they remain wide open. And a few have only gone stranger in the last 12 months. We'll cover the infamous bloop and the still haunting Julia, the Bermuda Triangle's unsolved disappearances that even 2025 researchers couldn't close. Japan's Yonaguni Monument, where a new 2024 geological study just reignited the Atlantis debate. The Baltic Sea anomaly that keeps defying easy answers. The explosion of documented USOs. Over 9,000 reported near US coasts since August 2025 alone. The crushing secrets of the Mariana Trench, where thousands of new microbes and microplastics were just discovered, plus ghost ships, rogue waves that sank modern cruise ships in 2025, and the glowing milky seas that satellites can now see from orbit. If you're watching alone with the lights off, maybe turn one on. This is the ocean's darkest secrets, updated for 2026. Smash that like button if you're ready to descend. Subscribe for more long-form investigations, and comment your wildest theories below. Let's dive deep. Let's begin where the terror started, with sounds that made hardened NOAA scientists check their equipment twice. In the 1990s, the U.S. Navy's hydrophone arrays, underwater microphones originally built to track Soviet submarines, began picking up ultra-low frequencies, signals louder than anything previously recorded. These noises traveled thousands of kilometers because sound moves 4 to 5 times faster and farther in water than in air. The most famous, the bloop, detected May 1997 off the southern tip of South America. It rose in frequency over roughly 1 minute and registered on sensors more than 5,000 kilometers apart. The raw audio, that rising organic bloop, went viral. Researchers at NOAA's VENTS program openly speculated it might be a massive unknown creature, bigger than any whale, perhaps even echoing Lovecraftian horror, since the epicenter sat near the fictional Rayleigh. I mispronounced that. For nearly 2 decades, the internet ran wild. Then came the solution. Between 2005 and 2012, NOAA matched the exact acoustic signature to ice quakes, massive Antarctic icebergs cracking and calving. The 2012 confirmation by oceanographer Robert Dziak sealed it. The bloop was glacial ice fracturing under its own weight, amplified by the ocean's acoustics. Climate change has only increased these events. Mystery closed, but it opened Pandora's box. Next up, Julia, recorded March 1st, 1999, in the eastern equatorial Pacific. This one lasts 2 minutes and 43 seconds and sounds disturbingly like a human voice cooing, moaning, or whining. Almost a distant woman humming. It blanketed the entire array. NOAA's initial assessment pointed to a large iceberg scraping or grounding off Antarctic's Bransfield Strait. But here's where it gets eerie. As recently as August of 2025, articles in Surfer magazine and other outlets still called it an unsolved haunting underwater voice 25 years later. Some researchers quietly note the azimuth data leaves room for doubt. Listen to the clip yourself. It doesn't sound like ice, it sounds alive. Then there's Upsweep, first heard in 1991, repeating seasonally between New Zealand and South America, with rising whales that peak in spring and fall. Its volume has actually decreased since the 1990s. It has been tied to ice quakes or underwater volcanic tremors, but not all is clear. Fast forward to 2025, NOAA and Oregon State University dropped a specially engineered hydrophone into the Mariana Trench's Challenger Deep, 36,000 feet down. Instead of silence, they recorded a symphony. Earthquakes, passing ships, and complex calls scientists now believe come from Bride's whales or other baleen species. One previously unidentified sound was solved by AI analysis of 200,000 hours of recordings. But the deep still whispers. A 2025 NOAA research paper even noted overall ocean noise levels dropped by up to 2 decibels in some areas due to quieter shipping during certain periods. yet the unexplained signals persist. Why does this matter in the Big 2-6? The ocean is a perfect sound channel. One unexplained call could mean an unknown species, undiscovered geology, or something we simply refuse to name. As one NOAA acoustic expert admitted off-record in the 90s, sorry for the tongue twister, the bloop's profile looked more like a living creature than anything mechanical until the ice data came in. The abyss is still talking. We're just getting better at listening. No oceanic mystery has captured the public's imagination like the Bermuda Triangle, a roughly 500,000 square mile patch of Atlantic bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Since the 1800s, legend claims over 50 ships and 20 aircraft have vanished here without trace. No distress calls, no wreckage. The myth exploded in 1964 with Vincent Gotti's Argosy magazine article. But roots go deeper. Christopher Columbus in 1492 logged strange compass behavior and mysterious lights in these waters. The defining case remains Flight 19, December 5th, 1945. 5 U.S. Navy TBM Avenger torpedo bombers on a routine training flight from Fort Lauderdale Naval Station. 14 men in total. Perfect weather. At 2:10 p.m., Lieutenant Charles Taylor radioed, "Both my compasses are out. I'm over the Florida Keys, but don't know which way is west." The flight wandered in circles for hours. Final transmission around 7 p.m. "We'll have to ditch." A rescue PBY Martin Mariner flying boat with 13 crew members vanished as well. A 380,000 square mile search found nothing. The Navy's official report, as if they had flown to Mars. 80 years later, December 2025, Smithsonian's magazine retrospective said no confirmed traces has ever surfaced. Theories range from magnetic anomalies to methane hydrate eruptions, flipping planes, to simple pilot errors. Then there's the USS Cyclops. March 1918. The Navy's largest collier, 542 feet, 19,360 tons, 306 souls aboard, including a captain known for erratic behavior. Loaded with 10,000 tons of manganese ore from Brazil, bound to Baltimore. Last message from Barbados. Weather fair, all well. And they were never heard from again. The single largest non-combat loss in U.S. Navy history. No wreckage, no oil slick, no bodies. Sister ships vanished on similar routes in 1941. A 2025 U.S. Naval Institute Proceedings article still lists it as one of the Navy's great mysteries, with no new leads. But let's not forget about the Mary Celeste. Often lumped in through technically outside the triangle, December 1872, brigantines discovered adrift between the Azores and Portugal. Perfectly intact, cargo untouched, lifeboat missing. Crew of 10 nowhere on board. A 2006 University College London chemistry recreation proved a small alcohol vapor leak could cause a non-destructive ghost explosion that panicked the crew into abandoning the ship. But why no log entry and why no return. Hundreds of other cases fill books. The Coast Guard and Lloyd's of London insist there's no statistical anomaly once you factor in heavy traffic, hurricanes, and the Gulf Stream's rogue currents. Larry Cush's 1975 book, The Bermuda Triangle Mystery, debunked many as misreported or exaggerated. Yet Flight 19 and the Cyclops remain genuinely unsolved. No debris, no explanation. As a Navy historian put in 2025, the sea doesn't surrender, it's dead easily. Bad luck, bad weather, or something the triangle still guards. "82 feet off Yonaguni Island, Japan sits one of the most divisive structures ever found underwater. Discovered in 1986 by local diver Kahachiro Aratake. This 50-meter monolithic monument features perfect right-angle terraces, a spiraling ramp, parallel grooves resembling tool marks, and what looks like carved stadium or ceremonial platform. Marine geologist Professor Masaki Kimura has made over 100 dives. He maintains it's man-made, a 5,000 to 10,000 year old ceremonial complex built before post-Ice Age sea levels rose, possibly linked to the legend of Mu or a Pacific Atlantis. He cites precise 90-degree angles, road-like features, and stalactites dating in nearby caves that align with submersion timing. Skeptics, including Boston University's Robert Scotch, have long argued it's natural sandstone fractured by tectonic forces and underwater currents. The rock naturally splits at right angles. Similar formations exist on nearby land. No artifacts or inscriptions found. The debate didn't end there. In 2024, at the Association of Japanese Geographers Spring Academic Conference, Hirochu Suga's team presented new evidence. Continuous weathering and erosion of the sandstone seafloor best explains the clean lines. A 2025 NDTV and New York Post wave of coverage still called it Japan's Atlantis, possibly predating Egyptian pyramids. Britannica's February 2026 entry simply states, its origins remain uncertain. If even partially man-made, it rewrites human history. An advanced civilization lost to rising seas millennia before Sumer or Egypt. The ocean isn't just hiding biology, it's hiding chapters of us. Now we enter truly modern territory, USOs. Unidentified submerged objects. The underwater counterpart to UAPs. Objects that dive into or rise from the sea without splash, tracked at impossible speeds, sometimes damaging sonar domes. The numbers exploded in 2025. The Enigma UFO tracking app documented over 9,000 sightings within 10 miles of U.S. shorelines or major waterways as of August of 2025. Roughly 500 within 5 miles of coast. More than 150 describe objects entering or exiting water. California leads with 389 reports, Florida 306. Retired Rear Admiral Tim Gaudit, former NOAA head, called these transmedium vehicles a potential world-changing national security threat in multiple interviews in 2025. Navy pilot Ryan Graves, founder of Americans for Safe Aerospace, has documented decades of encounters, including 1960s USS Stein sonar dome damage from something with claw-like marks. Recent cases off of Catalina Island and nuclear sites continue. The Pentagon's Aero and UAP reports explicitly mention transmedium craft, as Graves said in 2025. We've been looking up. Maybe we should be looking down. With the ocean's pressure and darkness as perfect camouflage, the question isn't, are they real? It's, what are they hiding from us? Challenger Deep, 36,000 feet. Only a handful of humans have ever visited. Pressure, 8 tons per square inch, yet life explodes. 2025 breakthroughs. The Mariana Trench Environment and Ecological Research Project, also known as MEER, discovered over 6,000 new microbial species in Hadal sediments, some with unique pressure adaptations. Microplastics permeate every level. A grocery-style plastic bag was confirmed as the deepest known trash. Recent expeditions found over 3,000 pieces of human debris, including a green beer can. Hydrophones in 2025 captured complex calls now attributed to baleen whales, proving even the deepest trench isn't silent. New snailfish, giant amphipods eating plastic, and dark oxygen production challenge everything we thought about life at extremes. The trench isn't empty, it's a frontier still revealing thousands of species. The Mary Celeste's 1872 abandonment remains the gold standard. UCL's vapor experiment proved panic-induced explosions without fire damage. Rogue waves, once sailor myth, proven real. The 1995 Dropner wave hit 84 feet. In 2025, Royal Caribbean's Vision of the Seas and multiple cruise ships suffered direct hits, sending passengers overboard and shattering windows. Non-linear wave focus scenes explain them. They've sunk tankers and now threaten modern liners. Milky Seas. Centuries of sailor logs describe oceans glowing white for days over hundreds of square miles. 2005 to 2006 satellites confirmed bacterial bioluminescence. In April 2025, Colorado State University's Justin Hudson released the first 400-year database spanning 1600 to present time, linking events to Indian Ocean dipole and El Nino patterns. Some events span 100,000 kilometers and last weeks. Visible from space. The why of these massive Vibrio blooms remain one of biology's open questions. In 2011, Swedish divers Peter Lindberg and Dennis Osberg of Ocean X team were hunting shipwrecks when their sonar lit up something impossible at 300 feet in the Baltic Sea. A 200-foot oval object with straight edges, stair-like features, and a long, flattened runway of disturbed seabed. It looked exactly like the Millennium Falcon. Samples returned mostly granite, gneiss sandstone, exactly what you'd expect from glacial debris in the Ice Age-scored Baltic. One odd basalt piece, likely transported by ancient ice. Geologist Volker Bruckert's 2012 analysis says it's likely formed by glacial and post-glacial process. Wikipedia and 2025 IFL Science articles confirm expert consensus. It's a natural formation. Yet underwater archaeologist Andreas Olsen told Explorer's Web in October 2025 the object appeared cut or molded. A 2024 discovery of Europe's oldest man-made megastructure elsewhere in the Baltic keeps the conversation alive. Compass anomalies reported by the team, possibly just local geology. The anomaly refuses to die quietly. We've covered sounds still echoing, triangles that refuse to yield their dead, monuments that blur natural and human, anomalies that look manufactured, thousands of 2025 USOs, a trench teeming with new life, and our plastic shame. Ghost crews, killer waves, and glowing seas now trackable from orbit. Some solved by science, others like Flight 19, the Cyclops, Julia's Voice, USO clusters are still whispers from the dark. Seabed 2030 aims for full coverage, but every new map reveals 10 new questions. The ocean's darkest secrets, it doesn't belong to humanity. We barely belong to it. What do you believe is still down there? Drop your theories. Like if this chilled you to the core. Subscribe for the next deep dive. And remember, the surface is just the beginning. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the comments.